Now, do you know something about indirect object and direct object? We also have, sentences with indirect and direct object also. Like, when we were discussing elements of a sentence, or say, say when we discuss basic sentence types, S plus V plus O, S plus V plus O plus A, S plus V plus O plus C plus A, or S plus V, S plus V plus IO plus DO. These things we were discussing earlier in our previous classes. So these are elements of a sentence. There we have discussed indirect object and direct object. Now we are going to take up some sentences in indirect object and direct object also, using direct object and direct object. For example, in active voice you may say, Papa bought me a watch. Papa bought me a watch. Now this is a sentence. Here Papa is subject, this is subject, bought is verb, and me is indirect object. Now you remember?
Yes, sir.
And a watch is direct object. So here you have two objects. This is like living, mostly living pronoun, and this is something inanimate, non-living. This way you can remember. Most of the time it is like that. My father bought me a watch, he gave me a present, he teaches me English. These are the sentences that you have, where you have two objects, indirect object and direct object. Suppose if you happen to get this, then I think it is easier to make a passive voice. Why? Because passive voice can be made in two ways. How? You can say, I was bought a watch by my father. This is one way of making it. I was bought a watch by my father. Is it fine?
Yes.
Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And what can be the other sentence?
A watch was bought to me.
A watch was bought to me. Yes, completed.
Was bought to me by Papa.
Okay. By okay. Yes. Here Papa is there, so you should write Papa only. Yes. Yes. What did you say? Repeat your sentence.
A watch was bought to me by
A
Papa.
watch. This, a watch. This is object, so this would come in the beginning. A watch was good. Bought, participle form. For whom he bought? For me. So a watch was bought for me. Or to me, you can say. To me. A watch was bought to me. By my papa. By my papa. A watch was bought to me. Or you even for is used here. In for is okay. A watch was bought for me by my papa. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Shall we take one more example, or this is enough? You understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we can move to another rule. Earlier, in the beginning of the session, I was saying that the examples are going to be a little tough. Do you find them tough?
No, sir.
They are not. No? They are quite easy ones. But students do not practice, and that is why they go wrong. So what is required? Practice is required. You at least go through the rules and all once. And if you go through them once and you prepare at least 5 sentences on each rule, you are not going to forget them. Then it will become very easy. It is in fact tough only for those who never care to read. Yeah. In case of object complement, when passive is made, the object complement becomes subject complement and it comes after the verb. You have object complement and you have subject complement. Okay, I think I should tell you, like, before I go to that active passive, how do you know that the subject, this is an object? How do you differentiate between object and a complement? Do you know this? How do you differentiate between an object and a complement? Well, I'm telling you, don't worry. For example, I eat an apple. Or say, he is a teacher. He is a teacher. Now these are the two sentences. Here, this one is an object, whereas this one is a complement. How do you check it? If you are able to make a passive voice, then that means that is an object. And if you are not able to make a passive voice, then that means it is not an object. It can be a complement or it can be an adverb for that matter. He is a teacher, you cannot make a passive voice.
Yes, sir.
So now you know complement. What is a complement? Complement is something that completes the sense of a sentence. Without it, the sentence is incomplete. And complements are mostly used after linking verbs, is, am, are, and do. He's an actor, for example. Okay, or he's a doctor. Or he's lazy, he's stupid. If you have these, adjectives, then they are all complements. For example, I take up a sentence. Students elected him the monitor. A very commonly made sentence. Students elected him the monitor. Although we do not have this election we have students in election in universities and colleges. We do not have monitors in universities and colleges. You must have had in your school days. Well, students elected him the monitor. Now this is the sentence. Now student is subject, elected is verb, him is indirect object. Since there is only one object, so I am writing O, and the monitor is not a direct object, but it's a complement. Okay? It's a complement. And what is it? What kind of complement it is? Because it is coming after this object, so it is object complement. It's object complement. In the monitor. Monitor, yeah, this is complement. Now this object complement would be converted into subject complement. Him will be changed to he, same, was elected, past participle form, he was elected, monitor, he was elected, he was elected, monitor by the students. By the students. Okay, we can take one more example. For example, if you have not understood, let's take one more example. I'm taking a similar example. They elected him president. Okay, it comprises only 4 words. They elected him president. Okay, they is subject, elected is verb, him is object, and president is complement. Now this object complement would be changed to
Subject complement.
subject complement. He was elected president. He was elected president. He was elected, president by them. He was elected president. Either you write by them or you do not write. He was elected president. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
You must have seen, there's a variety of sentences here because they are based on different rules. So you ought to remember these rules. If you really remember these rules, then you are not going to forget them. And please keep on writing also. Although you are writing, write a little fast. And if you do not understand anything, please do ask me. You know, what do we have in passive voice sentences? We have say by before the doer. By him, by her, or by Mohan, by Ram, by Michael, by John. We usually have by in the passive voice sentences. Do we have or do we not have?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But you know, it is not necessary that you always have by in passive voice sentences. For example, you even have impersonal passive. What is impersonal passive? Impersonal passive means where the doer is not that important, where the agent is not important. Who is important? Action is more important. When action is more important, you avoid by. You do not write that. For example, I said impersonal passive. I mean, say if you're talking about formal, scientific, technical, business writings, the emphasis is usually on the action or process. So the by phrase is generally omitted in sentences like them. For example, you know, this one is the one which I had in my board exam. I am reminded of this, and I am going to write the same thing. And this, you know, at that level we found tough. And this was the one, because this was new to us, and this was not discussed by our teacher in the classroom, unfortunately. And so, like, we were just baffled when we saw this example. One must do one's duty. One must do one's duty. So how will you make passive? Duty, because here duty is important. This object, this will become subject. Duty must be done. Duty must be done. Duty must be done. Is it easy or tough?
Easy.
It is easy. Okay. Have you learned it earlier?
No, sir.
No, you have not. Okay. Now you know it. If you get a sentence like this which begins with one, that means there the subject is not important, and you have to like make a passive voice like this. It must be. Let us take one more example. Let us take one more example. Although you know grammar, English grammar is very tricky, but once you understand the rules, it's going to be a fun. No? And you have the right sense of language only when you know grammar. These days you must have seen, you know, students speak very good English, especially students from public schools and convents and all. They are very good at English, they are very fluent. Yet, you know, they do not have the correct sense of language. Why? Because they do not know how to, they do not know grammar. So they are not sure whether they are speaking right language, right English or not. Does it happen or not?
Yes,
English
sir.
medium students are good at English, but when it comes to grammar, they cut a sorry figure because they are not taught rules. They are good only at the spoken English. This is usually seen. And you can have fusion, you can have a balance when you learn grammar as well, because grammar gives you the right sense of language. You know what is right and what is wrong. And when you know what is right and what is wrong, you are never going to commit mistakes, grammatical mistakes, which students tend to make. Yeah. So I was talking about say personal passive. Let us take one more example. Say one must pay one's taxes. One must pay one's taxes. One's taxes. One must pay one's taxes. So paying tax is important. Okay? Paying tax is important. Taxes must be paid. Well, this is like an obligation. This is like an obligation. This is a duty. One ought to pay one's taxes. Taxes must be paid. Suppose you have another sentence. One must obey one's parents. Parents are to be obeyed. One must obey one's teachers. Teachers are to be obeyed. This is okay? You have understood impersonal passive?
Yes,
I
sir.
think the phrase impersonal passive sounds new to you, but it is already known to you. Impersonal passive is that passive where you do not care about the doer, the agent. Why? Because agent is not that important as action is. Agent is secondary, action is primary. Okay. And there are some sentences you must have seen which begin with there. There are sentences which begin with there also. And how do we, let's say, make a passive voice of this? Like for example, there is no money. There is no money to waste. Suppose you have a sentence like this. There is no money to waste. Can you guess? Okay, I'm asking you because this is a little tricky. There is no money to waste. If you don't know, it's all right. There is no money to waste.
There is no money to be wasted.
My God, that's really great. Very nice. There is no money. There is no money to waste. There is no money to waste. Oh, that's really nice. I really appreciate. You had learned this sentence earlier, or like it was something like prompt? That's really great. I thought you would know this. I was thinking it would be a very tough sentence. It is really a pleasant surprise. There is no money. The sentence would remain just the same. This is also important. When you have a sentence, it begins with there in active voice. Even in passive voice, this is going to be the same. This phrase, their phrase will remain the same. There is no money. Only this waste. This now here there cannot be any change. This has to be in the participle form. And when it is in the participle form, you use be before it. There is no money to be wasted. Wasted. There is no money to be wasted. Good. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I think I find those active voice or passive voice sentences more interesting where doer is not important. I don't know, just by them, by her, by Mohan, by Sheila, or by so and so forth. If there are no doers, they are a bit baffling for students. Let us have say some more examples. So, I mean, where there is no doer, where doer is there but doer is not important, where we do not use by. I thought it to be a difficult one, but I really appreciate that he got it right. Yes. Say, I know him. I know him. This is a sentence.
He is known by me.
I know him. He is known by me is a wrong sentence. I'm sorry. I'm afraid it's not. It's not. Here you do not have by. Here, okay. Here I'm taking up sentences. You do have, say, the doer here, but you do not have by. Means you are not using by. I think we have already discussed sentences, say without the agent or without a doer.
Yes.
Now let us discuss sentences where by is not used, because usually we use by before doer. I know him.
He is known to me.
He is known to me. Okay, it should be he is known to me. He is known by me is wrong. He is known to me. He is known to me. We are going to like write say 5-6 sentences. He is known to me. So now remember that it is not necessary that you always have by before the object. It's not necessary that you always have by before the object, because there are certain words which go together. We have this preposition which comes after known. Known is followed by to. We cannot have by here. He is known by me is wrong. He is known to me. Okay, let us take more examples. Say for example, her behavior disappointed me. This is a sentence which mostly students go wrong. I don't know why. Her behavior disappointed me. It's a very common error. Her behavior disappointed me.
I was disappointed at her behavior.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Her behavior disappointed me. Her behavior disappointed me. I was disappointed at her behavior. You guessed it right. That's great. So you got the hint that by won't come here. So I was disappointed. This me would be changed to I, because it is working as a subject here. I was disappointed at her behavior. At her behavior. I was disappointed at her behavior.